So Fantastic Four came out a few months ago and I was really excited to go see it, which is kind of crazy because I never go watch movies in theaters, not even at home to be honest. Playing the game is usually my preferred choice of torture if I want to feel like wasting a few hours. But for whatever reason, be it the memes, nostalgia, or a desperate need for a 21st century movie to be good, I decided to give this one a try. And no, you didn't click the wrong video. I am getting to a point here, so stay with me now. But with the meme storm that it was before it hit theaters, and because I genuinely loved the Fantastic Four IP, I really tried my hardest not to set expectations too high. Yet and still, I somehow came away from that movie feeling underwhelmed. At first, I thought I was really just being a no-good, cynical, 2-bit wannabe movie hater, just cause I can't enjoy absolute cinema. You know, like that one lanky, pale humanoid from Ratatouille whose job is literally hating for a living. And I could have gone off thinking I'm the only one who didn't understand the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece. Until I watched this. So while the Silver Surfer slaughterers will have their day in court, today, let me take you back to a childhood classic. One that I can truly say was fantastic. Real quick, if I seem underdressed, I mean, it is what it is. What are we gonna do about it? Also, spoilers. It's a 20-year-old movie. Come on. So Robot is a 2005 animated action and comedy sci-fi produced by the now late great Blue Sky Studios. And if that name somehow rings a bell, it's because it's the same studio that brought us Rio and Ice Age. Which, by the way, isn't it crazy how Rio just like disappeared off the face of the map? Like in the early 2010s, it was inescapable. And now it just vanished. Like if you try to tell a Gen Zer that this movie used to run the streets, they will genuinely try to put you in a psych ward. So to ensure that this movie doesn't become lost media, let's talk about the banger that is Robots. So the movie starts out in a small town village called Rivettown, not to be confused with the famous 2K16 park, Rivet City. And we immediately learn that Herb Copperbottom is a loving, caring, and hardworking father, as he excitedly runs home from work to catch his baby's delivery. We also get a little bit of world building of the robot's world through a series of expository shots and interactions, showing you, not telling you, how the world works. So see, Herbo gets home and he unfortunately missed the delivery of his son, which he's a little bummed out about, until his wife Lydia responds with,
"But it's okay. Making the baby's the fun part."
Honestly, one of the best one-liners in the movie. Within the first 2 minutes of screen time, by the way, this movie does not lack for confidence with its humor and delivery. So anyway, Rodney Copperbottom, Herb and Lydia's son, grows up idolizing this famous inventor named Big Weld. He's like the Mr. Beast of Elon Musk's. I will not explain what that means. So Shaquille O'Build over here is famous throughout the robot world. He's got a TV show, he gives opportunities to new inventors, and most importantly, he empowers people with this famous catchphrase,
"You can shine no matter what you're made of."
That and
See a need, fill a need.
those words reverberated around young Rodney's brain circuits throughout his entire childhood, causing him to develop an affinity for inventing, or at the very least, tinkering. So as little Rodney starts to get older, he noticed that work's really taking a toll on his dad and he wants to help him out, like any good son would. So naturally, he gets a job at the restaurant his dad slaves for. But little Rodney, as the forward thinker that you'll see that he is, knows that this isn't sustainable for his dad, even with his help. So in true inventor fashion, he decides that the best method isn't splitting the dishes with his dad, or even taking on more dishes, cause, you know, his dad is a dishwasher. Like, that's his job, but like he's literally a dishwasher. Again, the world building is insane. So Rod waves around this brand spanking new invention of his that he's come up with just to wash the dishes for his dad called Wonderbot. And against all odds, and some hesitation from his father, it works. It actually works. So Wonderbot hops out and starts dropping Michael Jordan numbers on those dishes. 1 dish, 2 dish, red dish, blue dish. It doesn't matter. He clears out what would have taken Herb hours to get done in a matter of seconds. And they all could have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling gunk. You see, as Warner Boss telling every single dish to get it out the net, this absolute bum, scrub, excuse of a boss, Mr. Gunk, walks in and immediately starts crashing out over literally nothing.
Mr. Gunk, what is that?
Oh, my son made it.
What's it doing?
What?
Is this nigga serious?
This causes a nervous tick in Wonderbot. Wonderbot loses his marbles, and his marbles cause him to break nearly every single dish in the tri-state area. Like any rational jerk would, Mr. Gunk takes zero accountability for any of this and fires Rodney, vehemently expressing how much he doesn't believe in both the invention and Rodney as an inventor.
Inventor. You're the hand-me-down son of a dishwasher, and that's all you'll ever be. Somebody scrape this crud off of me and serve it to the customers.
Now see, this is the type of robot you call
A wireback silver number crunching clanker. A wireback silver number crunching clanker.
just the worst parts of robot society, all packaged into one crummy amalgamation of scrap metal. As infuriating as this is to watch, I gotta give the writers credit. Being young, hopeful, and wide-eyed about your dreams is a very common human experience. And having someone else not believe in you, or worse, verbally stomp on your dreams is also par for the course. This scene creates an excellent, relatable, and believable premise that sets up Rodney's motivations and the why behind them for the rest of the movie. And if that wasn't enough, they make sure to give proper closure in the next scene at the train station. So basically, Rodney decides he's going to
Robot City.
Robot City?
He wants to evolve from being a 2-bit inventor and get a job as a real inventor at Bigwell Enterprises, like he's always dreamed of.
I want to be an inventor. I want to meet Big Weld. I want to be somebody.
Initially, his mom's like,
You are somebody. Somebody who's not getting on that train.
Fly home, buddy.
but his dad, being the absolute legend that he is, also knowing what's best for his son as a man, tells him,
Did you know that when I was your age, I wanted to be a musician? If I could do it over again, I would follow my dream. You go meet Big Weld and you show him your big ideas. And Rodney, never, never give up.
it's so peak. So with his father's blessing and the exposition out of the way, Rodney heads over to Robot City. Now this is where the movie really picks up the pace. Rodney lands in the clanker equivalent of New York City, everyone walking like they got somewhere to be yesterday, and they're all much too busy to even notice you're walking here. There, he meets Fender, voiced by the late great Robin Williams, who's absolutely bursting off the screen with personality. So first, Fender starts taking all these pictures of Rodney, trying to scam him, saying he's charging $50 per picture. But when Rodney says no, he replies with,
Well, that's all right. There's no film in the camera. Would you like to buy maps of the stars' homes?
Orson Wheels, Britney Gears, and just straight up MC Hammer. And the jokes, visual gags, and pop culture references just start flying at you at breakneck pace. Like literally blink and you might just miss it. It's just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. So after fumbling his way around the airport or train station or whatever that is, I'm not sure, we get more world building with a frantic sequence on the Crosstown Express to show you around Robot City. Fast-paced, intricate, and precise travel infrastructure that includes slingshots, sonic loops, and a bowling ball superhighway, all working together in domino effect to land him right at his destination. Again, unbelievably good world building. All of it makes sense for the world they're in. And a great bit of foreshadowing. When he finally arrives at Big Weld Industries, he starts to realize that things are not quite as he remembers them. First off, Tim from the TV show is actually a D1 rage baiter. I've never seen rage bait this good in an animated movie. Apparently, because of new management, those promises of old are no good today. The reason for the change of company policy? A silver clanker calling the shots instead of Big Weld. The metal mouth in question, Phineas T. Ratchet.
No, I don't want to hear another, Where's Big Weld? We'll see him next month at the Big Weld Ball. He always goes to that.
So while Tim is giving Raw Dog the runaround, we learn that Ratchet, the new chief at Big Weld Industries, has a plan to make old bots obsolete by stopping the sale of their parts so that they can no longer fix themselves, and thus force them to either buy new upgrades or... What's worse, we learn that as evil as he is, which admittedly is like a so evil it's kind of funny type of thing, there is an even bigger evil pushing him in this direction. Enter Madame Gasket. So Madame Gasket, who's Ratchet's mother by the way, runs a literal underground scheme. I cannot make this up.
If I'm lying, I'm flying.
And wants all of the outdated robots to become outmodes, rendering them weak and powerless so that she could collect them off the streets and repurpose them to serve the interests of the corporate monolith empire ran by her son. I don't know about you, but the subtext for this premise is kind of crazy. And honestly, pretty mature for a allegedly children's movie. And side note, Ratchet's dad being there physically, but not leading his family or being an example for his son or doing anything else of note really is definitely not an accident on the writer's part. That's social commentary. So anyways, the movie resumes with Fender once again finding Rodney, this time trying to steal his shoe.
Happy now?
Not until you give me back my foot, you m***er.
They get into a back and forth, break out into a little dance, and end up finding the rest of the gang. Crank, Lug, Piper, and Diesel, who is an absolute joy to watch every time he comes onto the screen. I promise you, bro. Rodney finds Wonderbot with Piper after Bot McAfee over here drilled a 70-yard putt to down him inside a trash can. And the gang is officially informed that the No Parts Initiative has officially rolled out. Of course, this immediately proves to be a problem as they don't have the part to fix Fender's neck. So here comes little Rodney, somehow ending up in the same store for whatever reason, I don't know, suspend my disbelief. Strolling in with a perfect solution. And per usual, they drop another pop culture reference, which does work in the context of the movie.
The force is strong with this one.
Listen, for as much as YouTube movie reviewers like to dog on pop culture references in movies, this movie's kind of nailing it. Rodney fixes Fender, finds out Big Weld is missing, and we're introduced to sweepers, which basically collect outmodes lying around to take them to the chop shop. But honestly, you'd have to have bricks for feet to get caught by those things. They bring Rodney into their shared space where we meet Auntie Fanny that is literally dragging a wagon.
What's all that movement back there?
And she offers him a place to sleep for the night. The next morning, Rodney's low-key crashing out about the fact that no one's willing to go on a wild goose chase with him to find shiny Agron. Meanwhile, a mob forms outside when everyone gets caught up on the news and nearly turned to cannibalism.
Spare parts! Wait a minute! What's wrong with you robots?
So Rodney, being an absolute top G, returns to the only logic his motherboard wants to live by.
Cyanide, Philanide.
So he starts fixing robots, Madame Gasket finds out, and she doesn't like it. But that silly hag forgets that she ain't gotta like it cause the hood gon' love it. And she informed Ratchet of Rodney's hood heroics.
Someone is repairing outmodes, and they are laughing at you.
Who? And are you sure they're not laughing with me?
I'm telling you, man, this movie's such a good time. And I know I'm supposed to hate Ratchet because he's the bad guy and everything, but I mean, come on. While Ratchet is perplexed, Rodney has his own problems. He quickly realizes he can't get to everyone, but most importantly, he can't get to his father, who, according to Fender,
He's only got a few miles left.
So in hopes of finally talking to Big Weld, they make a plan to break into the Big Weld ball.
He always goes to that.
This leads to some of the absolute best Fender moments in the entire film. And honestly, some of the best overall moments in the entire film. Firstly, the Finrod duo are at the gate in disguise, and they're trying to convince Tim that they're supposed to be in there.
You were promised trumpets to announce the Count's arrival.
Sorry, Your Grace. Beat me until you're happy.
Now Tim tells them they're not on the list, but Fender replies with,
Fine, we will go.
No, please.
Go right in.
in some way, somehow, they weasel their way in. They make a plan to signal each other if anything goes wrong. And Fender goes through a couple, including a pop culture reference, cause of course there's a pop culture reference. And as Rodney is actively crashing out from finding out Big Weld isn't coming to the ball, Fender starts spice talking to his little John. Meet Loretta Gear Grinder. So while Luther Fend Ross is over here putting up an all-time Hall of Fame performance from downtown, Rodney barely avoids becoming a Walmart shopping cart after getting caught by security. His saving grace? The fact that Ratchet is an absolute simp for his assistant, Cappy, who must have earned her name by dropping the worst cap known to mankind.
I'll escort him out.
You don't want to look bad in front of your people, do you? And when I get back, I'll show you my casual, fun-loving side.
And somehow getting away with it.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
As she manages to pry Rodney free and escape with him to go find Big Weld, while Fender drops Loretta home and goes on a bender, which leads to him almost ending up in a blender.
This nigga doing the most.
So Rodney and Cappy end up finding Big Weld holed up in his man cave, doing anything but helping the situation. And this time we get a 2-for-1 special.
I'm Rodney.
Oh, I thought you were the Domino's delivery boy.
Pop culture reference and a joke all in one.
Pepsi bottle, a Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn.
As Rodney's trying to get him to act on a crisis, Big Weld just wants to get on his incomprehensible soapbox about how Ratchet made his way of doing things outdated or something. I don't know, I genuinely think this is the one plot point in an otherwise incredibly well-written, strong movie that just doesn't really make sense to me. But whatever, 90-day outdoor suspension for my disbelief. So Rodney goes off to the train station, disillusioned and disappointed. Fender, in an escape from the blender, finds out who's behind Ratchet's plans and manages to also make it to the train station. Auntie Fanny, the gang, and even Big Weld all end up pulling up to that train station. And they're all locked and loaded, finally ready to help Rodney do what gotta be done. But right before all of this momentum comes to be, Rodney calls his father from this phone, and his dad could just tell by his tone that he is ready to throw in the towel. Despite being in a state of doom and despair himself, his father imparts some of the best advice I have ever seen in any screenplay ever.
I know it isn't easy, Rodney, but a dream that you don't fight for can haunt you for the rest of your life. It's up to you, son.
Down, never what? Yeah, I want it louder though. Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Your father loves you very much. With our friends and family plan, you can—
Advertising at every given opportunity joke, 20 years ahead of its time. And before we could set off on this epic end of movie showdown sequence, we find out Big Weld likes BBWs.
Hey, who's the dame with the sweet keister?
But why?
I don't know. I'm a big guy and I like women with large...
No. Why are you gonna help us?
Oh.
Got him.
And with that, we're off. So they get to the Big Weld building. Big Weld fires Ratchet. Big Weld calls security. Ratchet gives Big Weld blunt force trauma. And security makes it upstairs to arrest Big Weld?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Is this the right script? Who wrote this? Okay, so again, as much as I enjoy the overall movie, this is something that I continuously have to overlook in order to just enjoy the movie. The logic behind everything that happens here just doesn't make sense to me. But I'll elaborate on that a little bit later. So female Silver Surfer, Cappy, jets off on roller skates or Heelys or whatever those are, I don't know, alongside Rodney on the back of Big Weld, who's still incoherent from the bonking he received earlier, as they go on an action-packed chase sequence through Robot City. And when I tell you the bronze Bakugan was gliding through the superhighway, it was so cathartic seeing him weave through the city like a fushigi ball, since you realize that the writing set this up from the beginning of the movie. And now it all makes sense why the city is built like this. He designed it with him in mind. Gosh, it's so genius.
Meanwhile,
So the end of the chase leads to them rolling over to the chop shop, where somehow this Pete Weber slung bowling ball just kept rolling on right into the trap. Okay, whatever. But when everyone has a moment of hesitation, Rodney's courage leads everyone to decide to fight. That's what I'm talking about. And they get some pretty cool upgrades. I mean, look at the aura everyone pulls up in.
He got this. I don't know.
Madam Gasket, outnumbered, unveils her army of minions and fleet of Street Sweeper 2.0s, unleashing Operation Reverse Jumping. And just when you thought it was over, in a scene that got ripped off, word for word, bar for bar, along came Piper. Avengers, count your days, you plagiarists. The battle ensues, and my word, it's so peak. Everyone getting in on the action, piecing up the competition and doing it in style. And just when you thought for once they possibly couldn't fit in another pop culture reference, for sure this time. It doesn't even make sense, but they've been so on fire up to this point, they're just throwing up anything. This is the equivalent of a heat check, and it's straight bottoms. But just as Big Well's running out of time, Wonderbot decides,
fine, I'll do it myself.
Builds up the courage, steps to Madam Gasket, and they embark in a remarkable swordsman duel that may be a Star Wars reference, but I don't know, I never watched it. And just as Madam Gasket thinks he'll lay down and finally die, he says,
No, I don't think I will.
And sends her as there's a drive
deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run, and so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again.
Meanwhile, Rodney saves Big Weld, and they both topple over the Street Sweepers like dominoes. I love foreshadowing when it's paid off, my goodness. And this leads to Ratchet losing his upgrades and ending up just like his dad. There's a lesson in there somewhere. And Madam Gasket literally crashing and burning in her own incinerator. And the day is won. In the end, Rodney goes back home, introduces his dad to Big Weld, who brings him all brand new parts, and announces to Rivettown that Rodney is now second in command and the eventual successor to Big Weld. And one last time, Rodney and his dad share one of the most heartfelt moments in all of cinema.
I know you kind of felt bad when I was growing up that you couldn't give me a lot of stuff, but you gave me the most important thing. You believed in me.
It's enough to make a grown man cry. And that's okay.
Rodney gives his dad an instrument, which leads to the final song of the score, Get Up Off of That Thing by James Brown, plot point, pop culture, and the voice box in the end for the vocals is just chef's kiss. Wow. Big Weld gets Auntie Fanny, Fender gets Loretta, Rodney gets Cappy, and they all live together happily ever after. For starters, this movie is funny. And like, I'm not talking about breathe out your nose fast type of funny. I'm talking about cackle out loud like a One Piece villain kind of funny. The humor is both for children and adults. It's that thing where as a kid, you can laugh for certain jokes or certain reasons, but then they sneak in the adult jokes too so that the parents can laugh alongside the kids and enjoy the movie as a family. And as someone who was a kid and then you become an adult, you still get to enjoy it as you age. It's amazing.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
Where's that gone? Fender, the lovable sidekick slash co-star, absolutely steals the show every time he gets on screen.
Only those with insurance? Oh, I forgot. Everybody, come on.
And of course he would, as after a bit of digging, I discovered that it was Robin Williams voicing him the whole time. His bravado, commitment to the bit, and delivery is some of the best I have ever seen from a co-star slash comic relief. And dare I say, even on par with Toe Mater. Yes, actually. I'll do you one better. Fender as a character is a better character than Tow Mater, and he would be on the same level of notoriety, or maybe even higher, if the Robots franchise was as big as the Cars franchise. Boom, there's my hot take for the day. Take it or leave it, I'm standing on it. But it's not just him. The entire cast from top to bottom is so well written and works so well to deliver well-paced, timely humor on command.
Hi, excuse me. How do I get to Big Weld Industries?
And speaking of pace, you might as well call this movie the 2025 Indiana Pacers. The humor, action, story beats, bam, bam, bam. Not a minute to send that text on your phone or check your story. The movie never lets up. Just 1 hour and 30 minutes of tight, concise, effective scripting. In a world where movie runtimes are really starting to feel like some kind of elaborate joke or a competition with James Cameron, I don't know which, someone tell me. This movie really feels like it respects and values your time. Every scene is purposeful and drives the story forward. Nothing ever feels like fluff. The scenes don't overstay their welcome, which is even more impressive given that every character gets purposeful screen time. Every setup has a payoff. Every single thing feels like it belongs within the framework of the movie. It's an absolute breath of fresh air to sit and watch a movie in the year 2025 and not feel like it's trying to give you the runaround. It's either character development, plot progression, or world building. I mean, most of the time, they manage to do all three at the same time, which is what makes it so special, especially after they finish setting up the exposition in the first act. And boy, I tell you, it looks damn good. For a movie that came out in 2005, which is now 20 years ago, the CGI and animation are otherworldly, outrageously good. Stylistically, it's not the type of animation that's popular today, but in terms of quality, it not only holds up, it still looks stunningly beautiful. It could have got made yesterday. The character designs are on point, the colors pop, the personalities match the models, and the visual artists do a great job at visually portraying each character's quirks. The new or polished robots look like so, and the older models look the part as well. And how they all interact with the world, which itself is masterfully designed, as I previously said, allows the riveting things that happen in the story to feel believable, to feel like those are things that could actually happen. Rivet City is a small rural town where everybody knows everybody and you can live a quiet life and raise your kids. Robot City, which bears a great resemblance to New York City by contrast, is fast-paced, larger than life, and grandiose, both in size and lifestyle. The insane train/travel system is honestly not that far off from what it feels like to take a train in New York, or any New York transportation for that matter. The expansive highway system, skyscrapers, and giant big world building, contrasted by the slums where the outmodes live, and even the dark underbelly of the world they live in, really helps to sell that the world is lived in. The diversity found in lifestyle mirrors real life to a degree that really helps to make the movie and its messages to feel relatable. And the messages themselves are as numerous as they are relevant, varying from social commentary to personal life lessons. One of the main themes of the movie is the firm stance against oppressive right to repair practices. Louis Rossman would love this movie. A heavily contested topic at the moment, perfectly depicted and reproved by robots 20 years in advance. Truly ahead of their time. One of the main plot points in the movie is the antagonist's plan to make simple repairs unfeasible by discontinuing the sale of parts so that the other robots are left with the choice of buying full-on upgrades or being left out to rot. A scathingly accurate commentary on the Apple model with Simpsons-level foresight and accuracy. It also touches on the plights of capitalism and those who abuse its model, showing how easy it is for the rich to get richer and for the poor to get poorer, how corporations innovate at the cost/sake of the poor, and how the weakening of those who can't defend themselves eventually renders them unable to stand against the twisted schemes of evil or powerful forces. A one-to-one parallel of how the lower class, which is the most at-risk group to fall between the cracks of human society, is often the most targeted group. Despite this avalanche of sobering social commentary, again, amazing for a children's movie, the movie does offer a silver lining. You. If I asked you what allows trees to bear fruit, would you say the roots? Would you start with the sunshine and rain? See, if you asked a child that watched the movie Who Won a Day, they might say Rodney Copperbottom, and though they wouldn't be wrong, they would essentially miss the underlying cause for his heroics. The solution to the problem is built on a series of foundational truths found within the movie, as well as in real life. The first of which being the power of fatherhood. Having a dad that leads your family, is present for you, and believes in you is astronomical in a young man's development. From a young age, Rodney's dad is shown to be active, present, and most importantly, filled with confidence in his son. Ratchet's father, on the other hand, while physically present, is absent and inconsequential in every other way. The result? Rodney grew up to be a well-adjusted, righteous, responsible, proactive, and productive member of society. Ratchet, while achieving success for a moment, was a slave to manipulation, emotionally and ethically bankrupt, reactive, and reductive to society. Throughout the majority of the story, Herb Copperbottom is not seen, but his impact is felt through the actions and resolve of his son. The second of these great truths is the line that reverberated in Rodney's mind through the movie. See a need, fill a need. Too many times, people want someone, quote unquote, more qualified to implement the changes that they would like to see in the world. And while I can understand the reality of there probably being someone that is more equipped than you to do the thing or tackle the issue that you want, if they're not doing it, but you're right there, it's on you to make it happen. While Rodney wholeheartedly believed that Big Weld could fix anything, when the Outmodes needed someone to step in, he didn't defer to the idea of Big Weld eventually doing something. He saw the need, and he stepped in and filled the need. If you aren't familiar with Bible history, in ancient Persia, there was a Jewish queen named Esther who God appointed to step in for his people. Her task, none the easier. She had to appear before a wicked king without an invitation as a newly chosen queen and plead for the lives of the Jews, which one of the king's high-ranking officials was planning on ending. All of them. She could have deferred out of fear for her life. After all, in ancient Persia, it's not like her position as queen necessarily gave her the authority to appear before the king, much less telling him what to do. But as she spoke with her uncle, he said a now famous line, "Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this?" This emboldened her to step before the king and plead, leading to her people's deliverance and the offing of the official who was to come after them. Who knows if you weren't born for such a time as this? So you have to fight for the changes you want to see. Even if you deem yourself inadequate, it only takes one domino to start a domino effect of mass proportions. And on a lighter note, dance with the one that brought you. In layman's terms, what that means is don't forget the people who got you where you are. When Rodney won the day, he didn't go celebrate his victory in Robot City. He went back home to Rivet to serve his dad, who first served him by believing in him. The people that he secretly hid with are the same people he openly danced with when all was said and done. He didn't go Hollywood when he made it big. Instead, he came back to the people that helped him to get where he got and served them in return. And it just made for such a heartwarming reunion in the end. I honestly enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I would. I was really just throwing it on for my nieces and nephews because we were having movie night. And it's only as I started watching, I was like, wait, hold on. This is fire.
This is a certified hood classic.
The pop culture references are so plentiful, but I really appreciate the fact that they're subtle enough that if you know, you know. And if you don't know, they still work. They never leave you jarringly confused at why it's there or make you feel like you're missing something. The movie has almost zero flaws. Almost. The plot point about Big Weld leaving the company and Ratchet being better for profits is the one thing that really just didn't quite land for me. Because it's not like the shareholders seem to favor Ratchet. Everyone still loved Big Weld, and Loki secretly wished he was back running things at the time. This power struggle felt, at the very least, a little contrived. Like they had to cut out some parts for time or something, because as is, I'm not really understand how Big Weld couldn't have just walked up in there and taken back control, or why he even left in the first place. But then again, I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments that's smarter than me can enlighten me on that. But in any case, one small uncharacteristic flaw on an otherwise perfect project. And for that reason, even though I refrain from overrating movies, believe me now, I will still say that this is a 10 out of 10 for me. I'll just turn my brain off whenever I see Big Weld and Ratchet parts in future rewatches. But the movie is amazing, truly a masterpiece. Like, I'm not saying this lightly. A true masterpiece that might have somehow gotten better with time. This is aged like fine wine. So shout out to everyone who made this movie possible. And shout out to you. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end of this video. This is my first time doing a movie review and even a video essay this long. So if you enjoyed it, please do let me know with a like. And if you would like me to review more movies or just do longer video essays in general, make sure to leave a comment so I can have some idea of what you're interested in seeing. And if you just want to hear me yap whenever I upload, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Again, I really appreciate you if you're still here till the end, because this is undoubtedly one of the hardest projects I've ever done. But if you enjoyed even a second of it, it was well worth it. In any case, it's been your boy Young Bunan, but you go call me Young Bunan, and now I'll holla at ya.